Our first guest has been lovingly claimed as Canada's sweetheart. She is a three-time Juno Award nominated singer-songwriter with an unforgettable voice and a captivating spirit. Her critically acclaimed repertoire spans a transformative spectrum from folk to jazz to pop and includes songs in both French and English. Her newest album, Homemaker, is an intentional pushback against the worn-out notion of what it means to be, quote-unquote, just a homemaker. We are so lucky to have the fantastic Jill Barber on the line now. Jill, welcome to On the Rise, and thank you for chatting with me today. How are you?
Thanks very much for having me, Dawn. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Pleased as punch to be chatting with you today. And I am so curious about your new album. So it's fantastic. It's beautiful. It sounds gorgeous. You've decided to explore your folk roots. What kind of felt like now is the time to do that?
I think this album, Homemaker, is a lot to do with coming home in a lot of ways.
Mm,
Certainly returning to my roots as a singer-songwriter, which is how I started writing songs when I was 14 years old, just me and an acoustic guitar. I've also been home, like so many artists and people in
yes.
general, over the last few years. Again, home alone a lot with my guitar, and had some things I wanted to get off my chest. It really felt like the vehicle for the themes on this album was primarily me and my acoustic guitar, raw, real, stripped down, and kind of laid bare.
You do get that feeling as a listener. You're like, okay, yeah, there's some truths coming out. Now, I want to unpack a little bit the title of your album. So, when I saw it, I was like, Homemaker. I'm like, mm-hmm. I'm like, Jill is going to be saying some stuff. Even before I heard any of the tunes, I was like, I'm ready.
Because, Don, you see me walking down the street with my kids. We live in the same
Yes.
neighborhood, you know? Yeah,
Yes.
mom and
Yeah.
heart. And there are a lot of us out there, men, women, people that are doing a lot of hard work and a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to taking care of other people. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
that work is unseen and unappreciated. With this record, it was my mission to celebrate, the invisible work that so many of us, parents or non-parents, people that are taking care of aging parents or animals or their community. I'm
Mm-hmm.
casting a wide net here. People that create a space, a safe space for other people to thrive and to be themselves, and for us all to show up as our best people. To me, that is a homemaker, and that is what I want to celebrate on this album.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Yeah. I think in our culture, in our society, we often get the word homemaker is like, oh, well, they're just a homemaker. That's not a real job. That's not, has no real function or worth in our society. And it's absolutely not true. As you said, it's like people who are tending and nurturing future citizens, and they're taking care of like people and humans. That's a very huge job. And I wonder, where do you think the disconnect is? Like, is it because it was a gendered role, or what happened?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's get into it. I think it's probably has is a result of capitalism, and that work that is not paid work is viewed as being less valuable. When in
Mm-hmm.
fact, as you just pointed out, the work of creating a home and nurturing others is actually the most essential work for a society to function, because it's not seen, it doesn't have necessarily a monetary value attached. It's not seen as having the value that it should. I actually opened the album with a song called Instant Cash for Gold, which is just a
Mm.
song about the contrast between what is considered valuable monetarily versus what really matters, what is really meaningful and important in our lives.
What do you hope will change in our lifetime in terms of regarding people as homemakers and the role of homemaker?
I mean, I'll take this to an optimistic place. I do think things are changing for the better,
Mm.
especially with the mental health crisis and all through COVID. We really realized how much care work is essential work. personally have been loving seeing healthcare workers be celebrated as much as they have been. Care providers for children, I believe, are starting to be celebrated more and hopefully paid better for their labor. And what I would like to see happen is I would like to see work not be valued in terms of how much money you're making, but in terms of what it contributes to your community and to our society and to each other, to one another. And I think there are some shifting priorities about what matters in life. And I'm happy to be a contributing voice, celebrating the work that goes unseen, but is no longer going unnoticed.
Yeah, I love that. Jill, you are a dream. You are indeed truly Canada's sweetheart, and you
So,
have stolen my heart today. That's
Dawn,
for sure.
the pleasure has been all mine. What a thrill to get a chance to speak to you and to be on the CKUA airwaves. CKUA has been such a huge supporter of mine over the last 20 years, and I'm so
Amazing.
grateful for all that support that continues today. So thanks very much to you and all your listeners.
Ah, anytime. It's a pleasure. And do let us know if you're coming through Alberta. All the best to you, Jill, and we'll definitely be chatting again.
Thanks, Dawn.